Hello and welcome to the Hindu's database coverage of the Lok Sabha elections. Let's now head over to Maharashtra, what we have considered as one of the key battleground states in this election. We expect Maharashtra to be among the three most important contests in the country, which include Bihar and Karnataka. What happened in 2019? If you look at the numbers, the BJP and Shiv Sena were then in alliance, and therefore they won the bulk of the seats. They won 9 out of the 11 seats that were in the fray. And the vote share was also quite good. The combined vote share came to 52.4%. But as we know, the Shiv Sena has since then split, and the legacy party, the party of Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, has now joined the India Alliance. While the NCP has also split, and the party led by Sharad Pawar is now with the India Alliance, while his nephew is now with the NDA. In 2019, the India Alliance won close to 33.4%, and this election also saw a spoiler in the AIMIM, which won in the Aurangabad seat, which was somewhat of a surprise, but it did quite well over there. Now let's see what happened in the assembly elections that followed, barely 6 months later. Again, we should understand that this also included the BJP in Shiv Sena and alliance, and more or less the BJP and Shiv Sena, the vote share fell a bit, but all four parties, Shiv Sena, BJP, NCP and INC, were able to cash in on their local popularity. This was an assembly election, unlike a Lok Sabha election. But since then, much water has flown, and we see the alliances have broken, new alliances being formed, and this we really don't know what's going on in Maharashtra. And this Lok Sabha election will probably indicate where voter sentiment stands, and this could also affect the assembly elections that would follow later this year. We are joined by Shoumojit, our colleague, who has been reporting on from these areas in Maharashtra, and he'll tell us what is afoot. Hi Shoumojit, welcome again. Let's discuss what's afoot in phase 4 in Maharashtra. I don't know if the hi. I don't know if this area is a stronghold of the BJP, but I know this is a stronghold of yours. You have been reporting from Pune for the last decade or so. So let's start with Pune directly. What do you see this time? The last time the BJP won close to 62% of the vote share. It was a dominant victory. You think that would be repeated this time?
Pune is playing out like a late Alfred Hitchcock film where there are no protagonists, as in big stars, but thrills are there nevertheless. You see, the BJP has fielded Murlidhar Mohod, the former mayor of Pune, Maratha face, and the Congress has gone with Ravindra Dhangekar. And queering the pitch is Prakash Ambedkar's VBA, which has fielded Vasant More, who was an erstwhile MNS leader, the MNS led by Raj Thackeray. And Vasant More is out to cannibalize the votes which traditionally belong to the Congress. He has a strong hold over Muslim constituents in Pune,
Right.
despite being in the MNS. So that is the X factor in this Pune contest. Now, Pune, since the 18th century, it has had an overwhelming Brahmin influence because of the Peshwas who ruled from Pune, Shaniwarwada, and 18th century, the history of India was controlled by the Peshwas for a brief period. So, uh, Pune Lok Sabha constituency, it's always favored a Brahmin candidate has been favored by all the parties involved. And the seat has been a Congress bastion since 1951, when a stalwart leader, N.V. Gadgil, became the first MP. And it would not be a stretch to say that Pune has been the province of the erudite Gadgil family between N.V. Gadgil, who was affectionately known, popularly known as Kaka Sahib Gadgil. Between him and his son, Vittal Gadgil, they've held a seat 4 times. And then you have the popular Suresh Kalman, who did much to strengthen the Congress organization in Pune. And after Kalmadi's drift into political oblivion in the after 2009 and the 10s, that has coincided with Modi's rise to power in the center, the rise of the BJP at the center, and the steady weakening of the Congress organization within Pune city. So, uh, and the Congress has lost the elections in 2014. They lost it in 2019. I think, but the big blow for the Congress is a loss, utter loss of uh, the Pune civic body. We have the Bombay civic body, which is probably the most cash rich in Asia. But the Pune civic body is no less cash rich, and this has also coincided with the steady dominance of the NCP, led by Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar in those days, especially because Pune, he's been the guardian minister of Pune for a very long time. And Ajit Pawar began consolidating the NCP in Pune, much to the detriment of the Congress. And despite Congress having a fixed vote share of 3 lakh voters or so, it has never really been able to come up and improve its booth level organization. And that has cost the Congress a lot. Uh, Recently, the Congress had a bit of a renaissance when it won the Kasba Pet by election. This by election was won by Ravindra Dhangekar against all odds. Eknath Shinde and the Mahayuti, the BJP leaders, ran a high decibel campaign in Kasba, but Dhangekar came out on tops. And within a few months, the Congress decided to field Dhangekar. Dangekar is a good candidate. He's known as a scooter man. He used to go around the scooter and listen to the problems of the people. He has strong grassroots connect. But the Congress have a very weak organization in Pune, which is further marred by infighting within the local Congress unit. Muralidhar Mohod is no less hardworking. He's done good work during the pandemic period, and he has a most importantly he has the support of the entire machinery behind him, and so that definitely works in Mode's advantage. The entry of Vasant Maurya, the third candidate, will probably result in vote fragmentation for the Congress. At this stage, it's not, but the Pune contest is very fascinating.
Let's segue into Aurangabad, AIMIM of Asaduddin Owaisi, making a dent in Maharashtra by winning the Lok Sabha constituency, and he was in alliance with the Prakash Ambedkar's VBA as well. Now, and we know that VBA played a spoil sport for the Congress and its allies last year. How is it playing out this year?
Well, before we get to Aurangabad, there is a restless spirit hovering not just over Aurangabad, but Aurangabad, Jalna, and the Bid Lok Sabha constituency. So this specter is that of Manoj Jarange Patel's Maratha quota agitation. And this tempest, which has buffeted Maharashtra's politics for the last several months, has found its Caliban in Manoj Jarange Patil. So it's playing out like a twisted Shakespearean play. Speaking of Aurangabad, Sambhajinagar, you see the VBA factor, the VB now the MIM is not in alliance with the VBA this time. So this is cornered contest. You have Imtiaz Jalil, former journalist, who's a sitting MP of the MIM. You have Chandrakant Khere of the Shiv Sena UBT after the split. So there are two factors: the Maratha agitation and the Shiv Sena split is now playing out in Sambhajinagar big time. Chandrakant Khaire. Now, there is another a bit of history here. It must be remembered that Bal Thackeray made his first major dent in Marathwada in Aurangabad by winning the Aurangabad civic body election in the late 1980s. That is the period, 1988 or so, when the Shiv Sena shifted from its nativist sons of the soil stance to a hardline Hindu stance. And it was Bal Thackeray who gave this call of renaming Aurangabad, named after Aurangzeb, because he was a viceroy in the 17th century, and to rename it from Aurangabad to Sambhaji Nagar, because Chhatrapati Sambhaji, son of Shivaji, was brutally killed, murdered at the hands of Aurangzeb. So now it took all these years for Bal Thackeray's clarion call to get implemented, and the Shinde BJP government is taking credit for that. They've questioned Uddhav Thackeray's weak Hindutva versus their solid Hindutva, and Chandrakant Khaire, who is Thackeray's candidate in Aurangabad, now finds himself in a strange position where a number of Muslim voters are looking up to him because they're looking up to Uddhav Thackeray. So, because the Muslims have gravitated towards Uddhav Thackeray in no mean numbers, Chandrakant Khaire is getting that benefit. Khaire doesn't have the support of the BJP this time, obviously. It's very interesting. All three candidates are minus something. Imtiaz Jalil, on his part, has a Muslim support, but he doesn't have the support of Ambedkarite voters this time.
Right. Mm.
The the Mahayuti's candidate is Sandipan Bhumre. He is a member of the Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena.
Right.
He's not going to have any inclusive support from any other sections this time,
Right.
and he has to face the wrath of Maratha voters,
Right.
the Maratha community voters who will be instructed by Jarangi Patil, and if he's trying to go to some village or if he's trying to campaign, he will have to face the wrath of these voters. So
Mm.
it's a very close contest in Aurangabad that's playing out here. It is very unpredictable
Right.
because Imtiaz Jalil is accusing Thakre's candidate
Mm.
of remaining silent on Babri Masjid because Shiv Sainiks had a role to play in the Ram Janmabhoomi movement. So
Right.
Imtiaz Jalil is asking Chandrakant Khaire to justify the flip-flop.
Mm.
And Sandipan Bhumre, the Shinde Sena's candidate and the BJP, the Mahayuti's candidate, is asking Chandrakant Khaire to justify his Hindutva.
Right.
So a lot of shenanigans are happening in Aurangabad.
Right.
So, I mean, you spoke of the Maratha agitation, having an effect here. How about farmer issues, right? And correct me if I'm wrong. These are areas which have gone through drought. If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. So, in the near past. So, I mean, and you had told us in phase 3 also that there was farmer issues are coming to the fore, and that also weighed on these elections. How is it playing out in this phase?
So we move to the next crucial seat, possibly the most crucial seat, that is Bid Lok Sabha. It has a number of similarities with Baramati in its
Right.
form, complexion, and the way it's being played out.
Right.
So the farmer thing that you mentioned is rife in Bid, and the agrarian suicides that have been taking place in Bid have not been significantly addressed by first
Right.
Pritam Munde and the Munde family in general, actually. Uh,
Right.
and this is a major problem, not just it doesn't pertain just to the Munde family, but to the politicos in general. It has been a
Mm.
long-standing problem. See, Marathwada is a drought-prone, arid region with water scarcity, and Maharashtra's politics, Western Maharashtra, is being projected as the prosperous sphere, as opposed to economically backward Marathwada, where emotive issues gain traction. It is
Mm.
no surprise, it is small wonder that Jarangi Patil made his mark in Marathwada, and his the agitation spread like bushfire there. And
Mm.
Bede, if you remember, was the hotspot, and it was in Bede that houses of two NCP MLAs belonging to each of the rival factions were
Mm.
torched. Their
Right.
bungalows were torched, and
Right.
one of the MLAs, Sandeep Shirsagar, his wife, they had a narrow escape. They had a harrowing escape in the chaos. So it was a
Mm.
very bad situation in Bede. Now this region, Bede especially, the OBC versus Maratha division is playing out in a big way. It's quite clear here. It's not
Right.
something new, but Jarangi Patil's agitation has given it sharper focus, coupled with the agrarian issues that we just talked about.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
Pankaja Munde, so this has been the stronghold of the Munde clan.
Right.
Gopinath Munde, as we know, was instrumental in taking forward this Madhava formula, which was the brainchild of Vasantrao Bhagwat, BJP ideologue in the 1980s. What
Mm.
did this mean? It meant welding together the Madi, the Vanzari, and the Dhangar OBC communities as a cohesive whole. And
Mm.
Gopinath Munde, who hails from the Vanzari community, the Mundis are an OBC clan.
Mm.
He, along with Pramod Mahajan, in the good old halcyon days of the BJP, they went out with this philosophy, and the OBC started becoming the BJP's main vote base.
Right.
And indeed, you have the Maratha voters roughly at say 30%. You have the OBCs 25% or so. You have a significant amount of Ambedkarite and Muslim voters as well.
Mm.
For a long time, the fragmentation among the Maratha voters played into the hands of these OBC leaders. They benefited.
Right.
Hmm.
Mm.
But this time, because of Jarangi Patil's agitation, the Maratha voters have come together more or less en bloc, and
Mm.
everybody is eager, not just in Bid, in Jalna, in Aurangabad. All
Mm.
the ruling candidates and the opposition candidates are very eager to defer to Manoj Jarange Patil. He's become a Robespierre who's unleashed his rule of terror there. So
Right.
he's calling the shots because Jarange Patil had said he would put up candidates against in the fray, but he hasn't done so. It is not
Right.
clear if,
Right.
whose side he's going to vote or whose he's going to instruct his voters to vote for which candidate. He is
Right.
the known unknown of this entire equation. And
Right.
the reason Pankaja Munde is having it difficult this time, it's not an easy race by any means. Uh, you see, there is Preetham Munde, after Gopinath Munde's unfortunate accident in 2014, Preetham
Right.
Munde won by a landslide the Bid by-election. She won by over 7 lakh, around 7 lakh.
Right.
And she
On
won
the
the
highest.
seat. Yes, it was a high seven. And she won the 2019 elections again
Right.
with a drastically reduced margin. Her
Right.
candidate, her opposition candidate was Bajrang Sonawne.
Hmm.
Now, you know, just like the Pawar uncle and nephew, there was an uncle and nephew split in Bid. Gopinath Munde versus Dhananjay Munde.
Right.
Dhananjay Munde was campaigning against Preetham Munde in 2019.
Right.
Dhananjay, being politically capable, being frustrated at not being given charge of the party there, he moves out, and Sharad Pawar, with his usual astuteness and foresight, ropes in Dhananjay Munde, and the NCP have a toehold in Bid. And
Right.
there's a parallel family leadership, one under Dhananjay and one under Preetham and Pankaja Munde.
Right.
And
Right.
now in 2019, I'm so sorry, in 2014,
Yeah.
when Devendra Fadnavis becomes a CM, Pankaja starts making these comments which render her relations with the BJP high command frigid, to say the least. She starts saying things that I'm the CM in the minds of the public, and this has not this doesn't go down well with Fadnavis. Fadnavis eventually there is a theory that Fadnavis finished off the OBC leadership in Maharashtra. Pankaja Munde, Eknath Khadse, and Chandrasekhar Bawankudi, who has been rehabilitated. So Pankaja's statements, controversial statements, then her tenure as minister in the Fadnavis government was replete with scams, the Chikki scam, a biscuit scam, and she steps down in 2017 after losing the Bid civic body election. And the relations between Fadnavis and Pankaja hit rock bottom. Now, paradoxically, unlike the Pawars in Baramati, the Munde family has come together after Ajit Pawar joins the BJP Shinde government. Dhananjay Munde is on the same side as Pankaja Munde. There is a
Right.
reconciliation that has been effected in the last few months. So Dhananjay is actively campaigning for Pankaja. That's a plus point.
Right.
Pankaja Munde has gone and met Manoj Jarange Patil to
Right.
neutralize him. Uh, but so have other leaders. It could be Imtiaz Jalil, it could be Sandipan Bhumre, it could be so we don't know how it's going to play out in the field. And when we come to neighboring Jalna,
Yeah.
we have Rao Sahib Danve, who is a five-time MP, union minister. This time, Danve, whom it was said that he doesn't need to campaign. He's a flamboyant man. He's to come riding on a horse and so on and so forth. Danve is having to sweat it out. He's going to He's going to voters door to door. He's doing the door-to-door circuit. And the reason for that is again Manoj Jarangi Patil, because at the start of Jarangi Patil's agitation, his consecutive hunger strikes, and the protests by Maratha community followers, the anger was directed towards ruling Mahayuti leaders
Right.
against Devendra Fadnavis. Danve was one in that region. And
Hmm.
so he's having to do the extra bit to placate Manoj Jarangi Patil. Danve has another problem. That is that of Arjun Khotkar, a rival leader who belongs to the Shiv Sena led by Eknath Shinde. The rivalry between Danve and Khotkar is very well known. And they've effected reunions, their sham reunions, as it turns out to be, because Arjun Khotkar wasn't participating in Danve's campaign.
Yeah, Shoumojit, sorry to interrupt, Shoumojit. I think we are running out of time. So, thank you for going through each of these seats. But what I can see from, from your analysis is that there is a great overhang of the Maratha issue that is playing out in this region. Is there anything else specific apart from this subject that is,
Apart from the Maratha issue, we have the uncle versus nephew, the power split playing out in Shirur. that is going down the wire. It's like a proxy war being played out there, where an actor, Amol Kole, faces Shivaji Rao Adalrao Patil who was with the Shiv Sena, but now Ajit Pawar has roped. So Amol Kole, very quickly, Amol Kole had emerged as a giant killer in 2019. He was a Shiv Sainik who was imported by Ajit Pawar. Ajit Pawar ran his campaign, and he defeated Shivaji Rao Adalrao Patil. This time, with the changed political fortunes, Shivaji Rao Adalrao Patil has been roped in by Ajit Pawar against Amol Kole, who has remained with Sharad Pawar. So this is a very crucial battle.
Right. Thanks, Shoumojit. Thanks for joining us again. The way you put the elections in Maharashtra, I mean, you add a literary spin to it, and that makes this already very riveting context even more interesting to try to understand and also to unravel. Thank you so much, Shoumojit. We'll join you later. Thank you so much. So we talked to our reporters from every state that is going to polls during phase 4 on May 13th. And the refrain we noticed was that most of these states are closely contested. Elections are going to be driven by a lot of local factors also, especially in states like Andhra Pradesh, where the regional parties are the dominant parties in the fray. And the issues that are going to dominate these elections are much different from what we saw in 2019. How it plays out, we'll get to know only on results day. But the larger refrain, as I said, is going to be that this is a much more closely contested election than it was in 2019. Thank you very much.